What's going on, everyone? Chris from PickDogs.com here with I almost said the morning show, the drive-through. Don't adjust your sets. Tony T getting a couple much-deserved days off. I don't think it's the only time of the year he actually takes any time off, but told him I'll sit in for him today. I got Big Al with me. I got Mills with me. Small card today. We're probably going to be in and out of here fairly quickly, but still want to be able to give you guys some picks for the evening's action. We're going to talk some UFC with Mills coming up for the weekend, so lots of action to break down. But Big Al, how are you doing?
Doing good. Yeah, really looking forward to the next month passing so we can get into some college football.
Yeah, so they've already started looking at week 0 and trying to circle.
Do you have any plays?
I think a couple for week 1 I'm looking at. Got a couple that I've got my eye on. We'll have to see if see how much the line's moving. I'm scared. So I'm already thinking about getting stuff in already just to make sure that I get the best number. But Mills, how you doing?
Man, everything's good over here. Any day above ground is a great day. So ready to look at this card and hit them up with the best props, hit them up with the best bets, and see what we can do to get us some money before the Friday starts.
Absolutely. And we were talking about it before we came on the area. If you guys have been following the Pick Dogs, social medias, Mills had a hell of a day on the prop shop yesterday. The home runs were going crazy. The pitcher props were going crazy. Sometimes you just have one of those where it all just comes together.
Yeah, it was a great day. I did the knock bit. Jesus Lazardio was pitching, so I had to do that for Mitch Wilson. So I don't know what it was, but I think I was possessed with the spirit because I just went plus money, big bets, and everything hit, man. One of the best days betting sports prop, I'll say, for me in the last 6 years.
Absolutely. It's always great when you can have one of those. But and we move on to today. And like I said, small card, but definitely quality over quantity for sure. We'll look at the 4 games we have left for the evening action. We got the Tigers favored at home against the Toronto Blue Jays. Battle of division leaders. You got Detroit laying -127, Toronto +117, total 8.5. We got the San Diego Padres paying a visit to the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals laying -147. Padres in around +130, +135. Total set at 8 in that one. We got the Astros hosting the Athletics in AL West Division showdown. Astros -145, Athletics +133. Total set at 9. And the Angels -144 favorites over the Mariners, +133, a total set at 9.5. Big Al, anything you're looking at for the MLB?
I mean, yeah, I've got a couple of opinions. As far as the San Diego St. Louis game, looking at how poorly Yu Darvish has pitched his first 3 starts since returning from injury, 0-2 with an ugly 6.08 ERA. In contrast, Sonny Gray hasn't missed a start all season, 9-4 in his 20 starts with a 4.04 ERA and a 1.15 WHIP with 123 strikeouts and just 19 walks. So, I do like St. Louis -1.47. Gray's also been really good in his career versus the Padres. 3 starts, 1.59 ERA with a 0.94 WHIP. So I'll look at St. Louis. I'll also look at Detroit, -1.27. I like what Reese Olson has done this season. 2.71 ERA in 12 starts. He's also struck out 61 batters in 63 innings. His WHIP is 1.19. He was dominant against your Blue Jays, Chris, last time he went against them. 6 innings, no runs, 1 hit. So I like Detroit. As far as an underdog, I would, pull the trigger on Seattle with Logan Evans. He's been decent as a 5th starter for the Mariners this season with a 3.81 ERA in his 10 starts. So at +133, I like Seattle.
Absolutely. Mills, what do you like here?
Yeah, I'll pick up with Big Al off that Detroit game. Yeah, man, Reese Olson got good numbers against this lineup. There's nobody in this Blue Jays lineup who has a home run off him, and there's nobody in this lineup who has more than 3 hits off him. Now, when you whoa. Now, when you look at these teams, these are supposed to be the 2 best teams, right? the record always doesn't tell. I get it. Detroit Tigers got 60 wins. I still just don't see them as the best team in the MLB. But I do like them in this spot. I will be taking them. Looking at the San Diego Padres taking on the Cardinals, Sonny's Gray's been pitching as advertised, 9-4 record. But he gave up 8 runs last time out. I'm going to be giving you guys a prop that I'm playing. It's Manny Machado to get a home run. He has 2 off of him already facing him. And looking at the last game of the night, the Anaheim Angels, you say, I say Kikuchi, and I'm saying he's going over 6.5 Ks, man. He's been pitching and he's been getting over that prop at his 60% in his last couple of games. And that Astros and Oakland game, who would have thought, man? Luis Severino is still just having a bad year. 3-11 on the year. If I'm leaning anywhere, it's going to be the Astros in that game.
Absolutely. Shane, how you doing?
I'm good. Sorry I'm late, everyone. For the MLB slate, I agree. We'll take the Tigers here with Reese Olson. He's been impressive. I think the Blue Jays bad struggle here. And I'm going to go against Mills here. I'm going to take a flyer on the Athletics with Luis Severino. Obviously he's been awful. But I just don't feel like laying that type of number with Jason Alexander. I know last outing he went 3 innings, not giving up a run, but he still had 2 walks in that game. The control's been an issue. It's why he struggled. So you kind of got lucky giving up those 2 walks. I think that the Athletics, as a flyer, as underdogs going against Jason Alexander, are worth sprinkling some money on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, for me, it's, I covered a lot of these in the morning show. The one that I still want to stick with, I think the most, is the under in Padres Cardinals. I'm still stuck on, the Cardinals coming off the Coors Field series. Padres offense hasn't been the most efficient. And I think they could struggle against Sonny Gray. I just think it's a low scoring game. You take under in the first 5 if you don't want to deal with the Cardinals bullpen. But I think I'm going to roll with the under in Cardinals and the Padres. And we'll move on to the WNBA. Solid card on the WNBA today, but still trying to navigate after the post-All-Star break festivities. So teams trying to get their feet back underneath them here. You got the Aces heading to Indiana to take on the Fever. Aces laying 1.5 on the road, total 164.5. Got the Sparks on a 3-game win streak taking on the Sun. Sparks laying 6. Total set at 170, and this line's been all over the place today. The Storm laying 10.5 on the road against the Chicago Sky. Total set at 153.5. This was originally at 158 this morning. I think it's probably because the news of Angel Reese being day-to-day and Ariel Atkins being out, but we'll see if this ends up shifting any more closer to the 8:30 tip-off. Big Al, or any WNBA on the board you like today? Did we lose him?
Sorry, I was muted. I've got one for sale over at PickDogs that I like a very good deal. So nothing really to talk about of the other 2.
Bill, is there anything you like here?
Yeah, man. That Sparks game, man. I got a new favorite player. And her name's Rika Jackson, man. She's been putting up points galore. It used to be at 11.5. The books raised it to 13.5 within the last 2 months, and she's been exceeding that point total in all of her games lately. She's an athletic player, and I like the way that she's been scoring, and she can offensive rebound. So I'm taking her over points. Now, when we look at that game, last time they played, I think the Sparks won by 4. That's why they're laying 5.5 in this one. If anything, the Sparks, they're always an over team. So look to the over in that one. Aces taking on the Fever. You probably got a good money line price on the Aces. I don't trust anything from the Aces since they got rid of Kelsey Plum. They made another trade earlier on in the season. I forgot what player went out, but it's just not the same thing. Last time they played, I think they only put up a career low of 54 points. But still, if I'm going to be playing a team, I'm probably going to be taking the Fever. I get it. Caitlin Clark ain't playing. That's the Grizzlies nowadays. It's just like when Ja Morant's not in the lineup. It doesn't phase them. They know how to win without her. So I will be taking the Fever in that spot. Yeah, that Chicago Sky game with Angel Reese out the game, I can't even look at anything in there. Last time she didn't play, I think they lost by damn near 700 points.
Yeah, 737, close enough. 49 in that one. It was not good. But Shane, any WNBA you like here?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at that Chicago Sky Seattle Storm game. I like the under. The Storm like to play slower. The Sky offense has been god awful as of late. The only reason it's honestly not a premium play for me is that I'm afraid of that Sky's defense. They're always good. One time a month to give up the 100, get close to the 100 mark given up, and that would be the one thing that pushed us over. But I don't see that happening here with the Storm keeping the pace down. I'll take the under in that game.
Yeah, I think for me, I like the under in that game, but now with the line shifting even further towards a lower scoring game now, 153.5. I can't get there. I was fine at 158 when I got it. I was even okay at 155.5 when we did the morning show, but now 153.5 is starting to get a little bit too low for my blood. But I'm still going to stick with the Aces here. I think this is do or die time for the Aces. This is where they have to put up or shut up. I think 12-11 for what this team was expected to do coming into the season is a disappointment. And it's just about which version of the Fever are going to show up. The version that won the Commissioner's Cup in Minnesota by stifling the Lynx, or the one that lost at home to the Los Angeles Sparks. So I'm going to lean towards the Aces. Speaking of the Sparks, I'm going to lean towards the Sun and the points. I still think that the Sparks for me are overvalued. The Sun getting Marina Mabry back tonight, I think that could help them out here. They've been a covering machine. Now, granted, they've been getting a double digits in a lot of these games, but I still think that 6 is just too many. So I'm going to go with the Sun in that one. But we'll move on to the part of the show where the cappers give out a parlay, a future, pick of the day, whatever they want to do. Big Al, is there anything you have here? I think you're still on mute.
Sorry. Come back to me, because I'll pull out a WNBA play for tomorrow. Just come back to me.
Mills, do you have a parlay or a play of the day you like, or a future?
Yeah, definitely, man. I like a little tennis play tonight, man. I'm going with the GOAT, man. And fortunately, not unfortunately, but I played her when she was plus 2,800 and she won. Who? Venus Williams. She's only like plus 350 tonight, but I'm taking a sprinkle on her. She was able to get past her first match about 2 days ago. And besides that, the best bet to me is going to be Manny Machado to hit a home run.
All right, Shane, is there any play parlay you have for tonight that you like?
I do actually like that Venus Williams play. I was thinking about saying that myself, so that's funny. But the play I'm going to give out, I'm going to give a future on college football. I like the Gophers over 7.5 wins, plus 130. Just great value there. I know, there's a sophomore quarterback, basically. He's been there for 1 year, didn't give any reps last year, and Drake Lindsey starting for the Gophers this year. But this was always the plan when they brought in Max Brosmer, was for him to have 1 year on the bench. Former Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Arkansas, chose the Gophers. And I think this with the PJ Fleck running style, obviously the running game is strong, but don't overlook this defense. I think this defense is good. I think their schedule sets up well. Last year they were 3-3 in one-score games, but historically Fleck has been really good in one-score games. I think that's a difference here. This probably isn't a 10 or 11 win team, but getting to 8 wins at plus 130, I'll take the value there with the Gophers.
Yeah, I think my early college football look that may end up being a premium the day that it happens. It could be, I don't know. We'll see it. Utah laying 6.5 against UCLA. I wasn't impressed with Nico Iamaleava at Tennessee. Switching to UCLA, you're going to learn a new playbook. This offensive line is in shambles. The Rose Bowl's not even a home field advantage anymore. Utah's a solid defense that travels. They're well coached. I think that Utah is still, if this game was at Rice Eccles, you got to think this line would probably be around 13.5, if not more. So I'm totally fine laying the 6.5. I think it's just going to be one of those early season games that were just, it's week 1, and that's why this line is where it is. But if there was time to adjust throughout the season, you'd probably see a double-digit line at the very least here. So I'm taking Utah.
That could be a home game for Utah. The way their fans travel.
Yeah.
At worst 50-50.
And realistically, it's, even if it just was a true home game for Utah, they only have 500 people that show up for a game nowadays. So I don't even know. It's maybe 1,000 or something. I don't know. But Utah, I think you're right. I think it could end up being more Utah fans in the stands. in that game than UCLA fans. Al, is there anything you came up with for WNBA?
Yeah, tomorrow Golden State -5.5.
There you go. Okay. I like me some Valkyrie, so I'm not going to butt heads with you on that one. But we got plenty of action going on over at Pick Dogs. Big Al, you're having a heck of a 2025 so far. What do you have going on tonight over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a good 12 months. Obviously, Christmas in July is the thing everyone should be taking advantage of right now. Folks who joined a year ago today, 118.5 or so net game. So if you're betting 1,000 a game flat, you're up $118,000. Can't argue with that. And if you join today, you'll save the most you will all season. So it's the best time to join. I think 7 days left or 8 days left for July. And we also have our 2-for-1 and 3-for-1 handicapper specials. So team me up with any of the guys here to save even or to win even more money. As far as individual picks today, I've got 3 plays. I've got side and total in Canadian football, and I've got a side play in WNBA.
Definitely make sure you check that out with Big Al over at Pick Dogs Premium. You can see at the bottom of the screen, it's had a heck of a 2025, so make sure that you check that out. Shane, what do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium today?
Yeah, I got 3 plays left up there. My WNBA play of the week. Individual, $24.99, where I have that. My top CFL game and my top MLB play for $39.99. Or my CFL, I've gotten to a strong start here early in the. Well, I guess it's not really even early in the season anymore, but so far this season, I also have that play up there, $24.99. But as Big Al says, only a couple days. Well, I guess about a week left to take advantage of those Christmas and July prices. So make sure to check that out. For me or any of the other handicappers on the site.
Definitely make sure you check that out with Shane over at Pick Dogs Premium. You can see a lot of profit last 30 days. And like you said, like Al said as well, you're running out of time to take advantage of Christmas in July. So make sure you do that. Remember, always use that promo code PICK at checkout. Get 15% off your purchase. But now we're going to break it down UFC with myself and Mills. So Big Al, Shane, appreciate you guys popping on. And we will see you guys either on the weekend or we'll see you guys with Tony T back next week.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Good luck.
So we got myself and Mills. We're going to be talking some UFC. This card's going to be coming to, I think it's an Abu Dhabi card tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Abu Dhabi. It's going to be an early one.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've got some solid matchups on. I saw Robert Whitaker and Rainier DeRitter coming off of that win over Bo Nickel. Peter Yan and Marcus McGee, bantamweight co-main. What else is on here? Bryce Mitchell, Saider Magomedov, Bullet
Magomedov, the one-eyed pirate.
Yeah, against Marc-Andre Barreau. One I saw, I didn't even know this wasn't a rematch. I thought it was for how long they've both been in strawweight, but Amanda Ribas and Tabitha Ricci. I mean, it's a solid card.
Yeah, it definitely is, man. You definitely got some names on there. Whenever they go out to Abu Dhabi and Middle Eastern, they have a contract with them to where they got to put together good cards. Way back in the day, like a year and a half ago, they put together one card and the Abu Dhabi people canceled it. They was like, nah, man, we ain't doing Eric Anders and stuff like that. So whenever they go out there, they're always putting on some better names and good cards.
Definitely are. And then like I'm starting to watch a lot more of the fight nights because the quality is starting to go up for sure. But is there anything that anything you like from this card that you've taken an early look at?
Yeah, man, it's gonna be RDR, man. Rainier DeRitter. The way that he fights is just like he's going forward every single time. He's gonna grab you up against the cage. He's gonna clinch you. Once he's in that clinch, he's gonna give you some knees to the body, and that right there has been putting a lot of people out. He's 21-2. He only lost to one guy twice, and that was in one championship. He was the 2-time heavyweight and light heavyweight championship holder for one championship before he came to the promotion. So far, he's been putting up. I mean, he subbed GM3. He got past, Kevin Holland. He beat Bo Nickel. And now, I mean, he's one fight away from damn near fighting for the title, man. If you get past Robert Whitaker, I think he's going to be one fight away from fighting for the title. Now, look, Robert Whittaker's last fight, when he fought Kazmat Chimaev, he got his jaw broke, ripped off in 4 different pieces. Now, that lends me to think the minute Rainer de Ritter starts to just grab a little bit around that neck, you getting a tap, 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 like you got a guy sitting next to you and he got to go to the bathroom or something, man. I think he's going to tap quicker than he would regularly just because his chin's been broken already. Now, when we look at this co-main event, Peter Yan, he's like ranked number 3 or number 4 in the division, but he's fighting a fighter that's only ranked 13 in the division. Now, I know a lot about the guy that he's fighting, Marcus McGee. I have about 3 or 4 interviews with him. It's a guy that I kind of been betting on and backing. Now, when I look at it, Peter Yan usually takes the first round off in every single fight. It's only a 3-round fight. I think it's going to be 1-1 going into round 3. And I got 3 G's in life, and I stick by them. Stick to your gut, stick with your guns, and stick to your guys. Marcus McGee is one of my guys. I'm taking him out plus 300 in that spot. Looking at some of the other fights on there, this is a good one. Bryce Mitchell, he's taking on Said Nurmagomedov, but he's stepping down to the 135 division in this one. Now, when you look at Bryce Mitchell's last 5 fights, I think he has only 1 win over, I think it was Kron Gracie or something. But before that, he just wasn't really looking good. This is a fighter who came from the Ultimate Fighter. Usually fighters evolve after that. He didn't add anything to his game. He still trains out there in Arkansas. He took some time out this time to travel to the Middle East and get some looks with some other fighters. But the point is this, he hasn't added too many things to his game. He don't have power. He don't have that one thing that he can just finish any opponent on. Said Nurmagomedov, I think he's going to get it done by decision in that one. And then my last one, man, you talked about it. Amanda Ribas taking on Tabitha Ricci. Now, I usually always bet against Amanda Ribas, and I always bet on Tabitha Ricci. That doesn't change. Tabitha Ricci's last fight was ferocious. She only threw 7 punches, I want to say, in 7.5 minutes. She's a talented grappler, but she doesn't do that no more. Ever since she's been dating Callum Walsh, the Irish boxer, she thinks she's a boxer. So she's going out here trying to strike. She can't close the distance. She's 5'3". Amanda Ribas, the thing I like about her, she's a game fighter. It don't matter. If she's getting hit, she's going to bout down on that mouthpiece and try to finish you. You got a fighter who likes to win by decision and just kind of go the 15 minutes and see what happens in Tabitha Ricci. She's been gifted 1 or 2 decisions that could have went to the opponent's way. I'm taking Amanda Ribas in this spot today. Oh, you're on mute. I think you're on mute.
Sorry about that. Yeah, see, nothing changes. Morning show, drive through, doesn't matter. I always get caught on mute by somebody. I'm with you on RDR, 100%. I think that, I don't know. You made a good point about Robert Whittaker and his chin, but I think for me, it's just that I don't want to push it by going inside the distance, considering how many of Whittaker's fights have gone to the decision. So you're only getting an extra 40 cents on inside the distance with de Ritter. So I'd rather play de Ritter just money line plus 126 as opposed to plus 167. Maybe I'm leaving a little bit on the table there, but so what? You made a good point with Marcus McGee, because we just saw, I think was it Joshua Van at the last pay-per-view where he beat Bruno Silva. Now they're talking about, even though he's he was 12th ranked in the division, all of a sudden there's word that you could get a title fight. I think McGee could make a statement here. I think Peter Yan's just past his prime. What else was there? You took the words out of my mouth with Bryce Mitchell. I think that the weight cut, I think that's just showing that he's on the back 9 of his career.
Right. But you got to change the whole division now to try to make it run,
I think it just means that he can't cut at the higher weight class anymore, and then now you're going to deal with faster fighters at the smaller weight class. I don't know. I don't see it, and I think you said you went with Tabitha Ricci as well, right?
No, I'm taking Ribas. I usually always take Ricci. Okay. Yeah, okay. The last fight, man, it didn't leave a good taste in my mouth with Ricci, and Ribas, when it comes down to it, The opponents that she fought, I give her like a B plus. The opponents on top of Ricci, around a C minus, you know. So I do think Amanda Ribas could just kind of bite down on that mouth guard, but she does struggle with takedowns. But Ricci hasn't been doing that lately.
Normally, I don't play based on the price. I just thought before the lines came out, I thought this line was going to be closer to like a coin flip, maybe Ribas minus 135, minus 140. But seeing her on minus 185 kind of just makes me want to play the number on Ricci, just based on the price. You're not wrong with any of your analysis on it. I think you're 100% right. But I think if I was just to play anything and disagree with you on just on a numbers perspective, maybe Tabitha Ricci. But I like that. I like a DeRitter, Nurmagomedov, McGee parlay maybe.
Oh man, all three dogs.
Barking? I don't know, maybe.
Well, what about the Sheriff Magomedov fight, the one-eyed pirate, man? I've been making a point for the underdog in this one, man. Magomedov, he hasn't fought anybody with the fighting style of Andre Barriott. Andre Barriott is a pressure fighter who's going to clinch you up against the cage. Now, Magomedov, he's shining when he has that distance to hit you with all those kicks. The guy hasn't thrown a punch since Hawaiian Punch. All he does is kick, and kick. So I think that Andre Barriott can extend this fight, and he only has 2 takedowns in the UFC. So I'm not looking at him to take the takedowns in this fight. I'm looking at him just to win minutes, clinching up against the cage. And one thing that Shera struggled with was that he got taken down by Bruno Silva. He got clinched up a cage by Omar Petrosian. These are kickboxers. These are Muay Thai fighters. He's never fought a dominant guy that can just clinch you up against the cage and win minutes that way. So I get it. Shera's fighting in his hometown, Abu Dhabi. That's the only place that he can fight because he has one eye, folks. We're talking about a fighter who has one eye. And he's still able to get the job done in fights. A lot of people is going to be playing to win by KO. He does have a spinning double back fist that he did pull off, but to me, that's like a fluke knockout. So you can't really count on that. I'm taking the dog and Marc-Andre Barriott.
I worry about the layoff too per bullet as well. I mean, we just saw Barreau back on in May, I think it was. I think he was on the JDM Bilal card, and we haven't seen Bullet since February. I think I read. Let's see, February. Yeah, in the loss to Michael Page. That's right, MVP. When we're seeing Michael Page. So I mean, yeah, I didn't really look at this fight to be honest, but now that you're talking me onto the dog here as well. Any other leans that you have for the card before we start to?
So I got one that I'm really on, and it's Krylov to win inside the distance. He's a minus 190. Now this is the thing, same thing with the line. I didn't like that Amanda Ribas line, so I'm definitely not playing that straight, and I'm probably not even betting it because I'm like you. I would probably bet on the Ricci plus side and say, hey, let's see what happens instead of minus 170. But Krylov, he's taking on a guy in Bogdan Guskov who's been taken down in multiple fights. Krylov has multiple takedowns. He won a minute off Ankalaev, the former champion now. I think this fight is going under 1.5 rounds. You can get that around minus 150. And I like Krylov to win inside the distance. To be specific, I think he gets the submission.
Yeah, that was one that I was having a hard time with, to be honest, just because, like you said, of where the price is. But maybe if you're looking for sort of a parlay piece, that could definitely be one that you add on there. I'm just trying to see. They're not far off in the ranks. What is Krylov's top 10, and is I don't know if Guskov's right. Oh, he's 13th.
No, Guskov's not ranked. Oh, yeah, damn, 13. Okay.
13th, yeah, 13th light heavyweight. So, yeah, I mean, I can probably get there with Krylov, but yeah, I'm excited for this fight night though. I think this is one of the more anticipated fight nights, at least for me in recent memory. But once you let everybody else know what you got going on, you're doing some great work. We just talk about the prop shop coming into the show tonight. You got a lot going on. Let everybody know what's going on with you.
Yeah, man, you can check it out daily over here. We drop the prop shop for you guys where we go over every single sport that we can get paid on. Okay. And I'm going over multiple props on there, giving a lot more than 5 sometimes. Cause if I see something I like, I just got to put it on the list. And the best thing about it, I always bring up the sports chat plays betting tools because they're always going to let me know how these props has been hitting in the last 5 days with those percentages. So if you guys are looking for something else to bet on, go to the sports chat plays betting tools and see what they got going for you guys. The UFC Bet With Me series is out now. We dropped it for you guys last night, and it's out now doing its numbers. The thing is this, on this type of card, I believe that the dogs are alive. Now, look, you always can't play this card like last week, but last week on the main card, all the underdogs won. Every single guy that was an underdog won. In the beginning, Dustin Poirier was the favorite. Now, with that being said, all the underdogs won. So I'm taking a shot on some of the dogs that I like in this fight. And, definitely you guys want to see exactly what we got going on. So check out the UFC Bet With Me series every single Wednesday. And check out the prop shop. We do it every single day except for Saturday.
Definitely make sure you check that out. I'm gonna say we always have great content at the YouTube channel, and Mill's definitely putting out some primo content there as well. But thank you guys so much for joining us today. I'm going to be back here tomorrow. I'm going to have another great group of cappers with me as we do another edition of the Drive Through. Like I said, Tony T will be back on Monday. But for now, I will see you guys later. Again, thank you, Mills, for joining me. Thanks, Big Al and Shane, and we'll see you guys soon. Best of luck.